Hello, I'm Dr. Mark Porter, and thank you for downloading this edition of Inside Health. I hope you enjoy it. And who better to provide some balance than a craniofacial specialist from Great Ormond Street Hospital, consultant plastic surgeon David Dunaway.
When babies are born, the skulls that they're born with are very, very soft indeed. And ever since the early 90s, it had been worked out that it was much safer for babies to lie on their back, and that was shown to reduce the incidence of cot death very significantly.
But
it does mean for a baby that has just been born, that has a relatively big head for its body and relatively weak muscles, the baby's unable to turn very much, and so the forces that act on the skull act in one place, and that can cause a gradual flattening.
So they're lying on their back, but baby's head is falling to one side, or they're looking to the left or the right.
So most babies do have a preference for one side or another, and if that's allowed to persist, you get more flattening on the side that they're looking to.
And presumably it does persist, because once they find a comfortable position and the skull alters shapes, that's the side they tend to go to.
Absolutely. So once you've got a flat bit on your skull, it's so comfortable to lie there that you naturally show a preference for it.
But as the bones continue to grow, they start to harden, don't they, as the child gets older?
Yeah.
Does it matter that the baby's got a flat side of their skull? Is it going to become permanent when these bones harden?
Generally, it doesn't matter at all. And for most babies, they get a little bit of flattening. And as they grow, they increase their head control, they increase their mobility. And it doesn't matter where you lie the baby, it will turn in the cot in any way. And so the forces of lying are evenly distributed over the skull. And that, for most babies, happens at a very early age when the skull is still mouldable and has a lot of plasticity, and so the head just grows into a normal shape.
So the natural history for most of these children is if they're left to their own devices, the skull becomes normal in the end.
Yes, that's right. I think it's not uncommon in the normal population to see asymmetric skulls. None of us are perfectly symmetrical, so very mild degrees of flattening are very common.
But are there any more natural measures that parents can take if they're worried about the shape of their baby's head? David Dunaway.
There are some very simple measures that you can take. Perhaps the simplest would be to rearrange the room so that when they lie in their cot, everything that is of possible interest to them is on the opposite side of the cot, and then they'll naturally turn their head that way. There are special pillows that you can get that will distribute the force over the back of the head much more evenly, and putting little wedges under the mattress of the cot so that it's more comfortable for baby to lie looking in the other direction.
And presumably during the daytime you can put them, when you're with them, you can put them on their tummies as well.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And in fact that's one of the things that we recommend is lots of tummy time. So when babies are with you, try not to have them lying on the back of their heads. Have lots of tummy time, and make sure that things in everyday life don't cause too much pressure. So don't tip the car seat too far back. Make sure that the back of it isn't too hard or flat.
Surgeon David Dunaway. And there's more detail on those repositioning measures mentioned by David on our website. Go to bbc.co.uk/radio4 and follow the links to Inside Health.